Let's do a quick explanation of the hinges here. So this is the right side. This is affixed to the wall, so the stringer is screwed into the wall. The hinge, I've done, I routed out a relief for the hinge, and I've put the hinge in with quarter 20 bolts going all the way through. This will, when it folds up, this will be straight up and down like this. The boards will sit on top of each other. As you can see on the next step, I had to cut a relief for the hinge in both the stringer and the tread. But on my measurements, what I was trying to make sure was that the bottom edge of the tread were lined up with the top edge of the stringer, so that just like on my fixed ones, the tread will be sitting on top. So that makes these go up at the right height. So like I said, you gotta cut, I had to cut relief in both of those. I put those in with bolts because I wanted to be able to tighten the bolts down and know that they wouldn't release. I put these washers in so that they would bite into the wood and not spin. And then I could put a lock washer and nut on the hinge side, so that shouldn't come loose. And like I said, you just have to, I had to play with how much relief I wanted, was needed for the hinge, and then where to physically put the holes for the bolts and get those to line up. So I did everything off center. I put a center line on each one of my treads, and then I went left and right so that the hinge is centered in the tread. Now on the left side, this is the side that actually moves up. Normally, I think most people build this so that this is an inverted stringer from this side and it sits above it. I didn't want to do that because I had some interference and I needed this board to be off of the wall by a board thickness instead of laying up against the wall. So I put these hinges on the bottom, and when this picks up, this hinge goes down like this. That does mean that you need flathead bolts. This particular hinge is a 4.5 inch heavy duty hinge, and in order to do it flush mount, it does require a number 12 bolt, which was a little bit more difficult to find, as opposed to a 1/4 inch. A 1/4 inch, the head actually sticks up a little bit and this would not fold flat. So I had to go with the number 12 flathead bolts. From a measurement, the two things I had to do was make sure that when this was up, the top edge of the hinge was in line with where my stringer line would be. So I took the right stringer, laid it on top of the left stringer, and then marked where my cutouts would be. So I marked all those. And then I figured out the measurements to make that work. Because I wanted this to fold flat, I did need some relief in this stringer, so I did have to route out that groove for the hinge to fall into. And then, like I said, like I did on the other side, I marked my center line and then figured out what distance I needed to come down to hit those hinge holes at the right spot. So this one will normally set like this when the tread is there, and then when it folds up, this goes down. And I'll do a video of actually how all this works. So as you can see here, the difference was that since I had to use those flathead bolts, I didn't want the bolts sticking up on the tread. because that would be a trip hazard and you would want to step on it. So I had to cut these relief holes, and I put these same washers to spread it out and hold in the wood so that they don't spin. I did put a washer and a lock washer and a nut on these so that vibration hopefully doesn't let those loosen up over time. And I also had to cut that same relief on the stringer side to do the same thing, because when this sets up against the wall, when this folds up against the wall, I didn't want these bolt heads sticking out for me to walk by and scrape them on my shoulder as I walked by, because that would not be good either. So I cut these out with a Forstner bit, just drilled down a 1/2 inch with a Forstner bit to give me that relief. And I'm gonna go back in and fill these in with something, I haven't decided what, and then cut it flush with the board so that I have it so that it's flat. Not exactly sure yet what the best option for that is. But that's the basic gist. As you can see, each one of these going up, I just measured them all the same. It moves silky smooth so far, and I'll do a video of actual movement of it also.